Hello everyone, this is my Orcs and Goblins army. After years of painting, I thought it's time to make an army showcase video, and so I put everything on the table, at least everything that I have painted. So I have a lot more that is not painted, so I'm fully planning to keep on adding to this army, but it's already quite sizable. I started in 2006 when Battle for Skull Pass came out, and from there it grew until now in 2022 I have this army. You see a lot of focus on Night Goblins. I started out with those because those were in Skull Pass. But I also added over time some Orcs, Black Orcs, Spider Riders, Wolf Riders, Trolls, Giants, also some Age of Sigmar models that I put on square bases so I can use them in Warhammer Fantasy battles, or also 9th Age, because we switched to 9th Age after 8th edition got discontinued by Games Workshop. So yeah, I thought it was a good idea to make an army showcase video, show you the units, show you the painting. Not everything in my army is painted as well as anything else. Some things are really well painted, at least for my level of skill level of painting. Other things have been painted years ago, and normally you will see an evolution in that. Some things are bad, other things are really nicely done. So yeah, let's go unit per unit. This is Skarsnik and Gobla. I painted him up years ago, but I'm still quite happy with the paint job on that one. You also see the Skull Pass Night Goblin Shaman there. He's in a unit of 60 Night Goblins with hand weapons and shields. I also added this unit filler, and this is something you will see throughout the rest of my army. Is actually I make use of a lot of fillers in my units because I think they are always a good idea to add. They give a lot of character to the units, and they break a little bit the rank and file view that you have on units. So this one is a couple of Night Goblins making some magical brew with a snotling there as well on a rock with a giant hit in it. So had some fun making that unit filler there. Also some netters. So voilà, these are the 61st Night Goblins. Then we have the second unit of 60 Night Goblins. They are led by Skragrot, I think his name is. I'm not sure. He's an Age of Sigmar model. I quite liked the model, so I just bought him and added him to my army. Also in this one you can see another Shaman that's a metal model. And you also have the Battle Standard Bearer from Forge World. For years I used another banner, but yeah, I bought this one I think last year, painted him up. It was a long time due that I added a battle standard to my extensive Night Goblin army. Also in here you can see another unit filler. This is actually a unit filler for 9 Night Goblins. There's some rocks in here, a moon, some plate there against the stone wall, a skull, some Night Goblins walking around. Also again breaking a little bit the rank and file. For 9th Age, those characters like Skragrot and Skarsnik, they are used as just a Night Goblin Lord or a Cave Goblin Lord or hero with another 5 Goblins as unit fillers, because these characters do not exist in 9th Age. But it's still fun. And here you can see one of the oldest models I ever painted. This is the Night Goblin Big Bros from Battle of Skull Pass. I think it must have been my 3rd or 4th model ever painted for Warhammer Fantasy battles. Never redone the paint job, so it still looks very old and all over the place, not very well painted, but he's still around, so I can still play with him 15 years later, so that's fun. Alright, let's skip the characters for now and go to the other unit of Night Goblins. This again is 60 Night Goblins. They have short bows. Started with them as well in Battle for Skull Pass. There were 20 in there. but I added to them afterwards. Now there's 60 of them. And yeah, also here there's a unit filler with a captured dwarf, also again on some rocks and the moon. Yeah, so they captured the dwarf, having some fun. So they're happy in the back rank most of the time. So these are 60 Night Goblins. For the infantry of the Night Goblins, I have 2 more units. These are, not sure how many those are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Yeah, that's 40-ish Night Goblins with spears. And here you can also see one metal shaman I added in here. So this is the other metal shaman. Some minor conversion on the boss right here. And of course, some people may recognize the Shadespire, I think model it is. Moloch the Giant, I just added him in the unit as a unit filler. Just because I wanted to paint him, because he's a lot of fun to paint. And I added him, he's still on his round base. Not so much a fan of the base, to be honest. I think at some point I would just cut off his legs. Or not cut off his legs, but cut off the base at the feet and add him on an actual square base. But for now I just made this thing. It's a round cutout of a square. And I just put him in there. Voila, so he can be part of the unit. Also, this is another unit filler with the giant banner. This is the banner from the Black Orcs, and I just painted it up as a Night Goblin banner, a conquered cannon here. It's, yeah, that the Night Goblins conquered from the dwarves. And then the last unit of Night Goblin infantry, again a 40-ish number of Night Goblins with a metal. Yeah, that's a big boss from the Night Goblins. A random Squig. I think that Squig is from the Fanatic box. Just put it on a square base and put it next to him. And then here there's another metal Night Goblin Shaman. The tent from Skull Pass. Been there as well for a long time. And here at the back you can see my old battle standard bearer for Night Goblins. It is just a common goblin actually. I just painted the banner up as a Night Goblin banner. So he stick out from the rest of the Night Goblins. I could identify him as the BSB. But of course the Forge World model is a lot more fun. So he is in the back. Also, because I have so many Night Goblins, I thought for really big battles it would be fun if I can have more units, because units of 60 are not really yeah, a strategic thing to put on the battlefield. So that's why I also have some spare commanders here that I can use to split them up into more several units. So voila, these are the Night Goblin infantry. And then here I have the Squig herds. I think there's 32 or 36, I'm not sure, Squigs in here. Painted them red and yellow to make the contrast. I think if I would have chosen to do them all red, it would have been a little bit too monotonous, so chose to do them red and yellow. Also some unit fillers just to break up the ranks again with some stones. I think this is bark from trees that I used as the stones there. And then the Squig Hoppers. I think actually the Squig Hoppers are one of the things that are painted worst in my army. So for sure the back 2 ranks I will repaint them at some point. Just strip the entire model of the paint and start from scratch. The ones at the in the beginning here in the front, they are a little bit better than the one on the back, but still not my best paint job. But yeah, they're there. I use them in battles, so voila. And there's a character as well. He's a metal goblin, Night Goblin, on a giant Squig. Alright, let's maybe go to the characters. This is well, these are my characters. You can see an AOS model here. This is Shaman. Actually, this is one model that my brother painted up. He's a better painter overall than I am. So, but sometimes he takes the time also painting an orc or painting a goblin, because they are just fun to paint, and if he can do that, he's gonna do that from time to time. So this is one that he painted, and I can add him to my army. I really like him. And then here there's the goblin that also my brother painted. So this is a common goblin shaman. He's the only common goblin, maybe apart from the artillery crew, that I have in my army. So maybe somewhere in the future I'll be adding common goblins as well. But for now, he's one of the only ones. And here are the orcs. I have two on boars. You have a Gorbad Ironclaw. Painted him up a long time ago. I think the paint job is alright, not the best paint job. I think you can see that the battle standard that I painted more recently is painted also better than Gorbad is. Yeah, I don't think I will repaint him anytime soon. Maybe repaint a little bit things on him. For example, the tusks of the boar, and also the tusk on his helmet I repainted last year. It's just a minor thing, but it was already a lot better than what it used to be. It used to be very white. So I think the stripes is better for the tusks. Then here we have a Black Orc, Warboss, or an Ironhide in 9th Age terms. Really nice model as well to paint. And he fits with my Black Orcs that you can see there in the background already. So voilà, I use him a lot as my general. I think this is the model I use the most as my army general, because I use my Black Orcs a lot as well. And 9th Age, they are really good. In 8th edition, back in 8th edition, they just weren't worth their cost. So I didn't use a lot of Black Orcs back then, but in 9th Age they're really good, and he is my standard general for now. And this is my older general. It's Grimgor Ironhide with the black armor. The paint job on here, I think I painted him more or less in the same period that I painted Gorbad. So he's alright, but not as good as I would paint him now, I think. Alright, so these are a little bit of my characters. Moving on to the orcs, I have 2 units of 35 orcs. In them there is some unit fillers. As you can see here, I used the Rhinox from the Iron Blaster kit from the Ogre Kingdoms. I just put an orc on top of him, some banner piece from the Black Orcs, I think. So voilà, he's there, he's nice. He's a unit filler for 6 orcs. And then here you can see the first banner I ever painted, the first orc banner I ever painted for my army. Still like it. It's quite simple. It's an example from the 8th edition book. I just got some inspiration there and painted more or less what was in the book. So voilà. And here there is an orc character. It's converted using a banner also from the Black Orcs as a cape. I really like him. He's on a dwarven-ish rock. I call him Thorc because he actually looks a bit like Thor from the Marvel movies, especially with the red cape coming from the air with an axe. It's not a hammer, but it's an axe. Kind of looks a bit like Thorc, so I call him Thorc. Voilà, these are 35 orcs. Another 35 orcs. You can see in there I have the Shaman. The metal Shaman. He's a bit smaller than a normal orc, but he can do magic, so he's there. And then you can see I have a white orc. I think I painted him up after I saw the first Hobbit movie, and then I wanted a pale orc, so there you go. I have a pale orc. Also some work on the banner, very minor, very modest work. Just one skull with some horns, a yellow eye but on a red field, some white and black squares as well. He works. I use him a lot as a battle standard as well. I actually still don't have an orc battle standard bearer, but normally I use either him or the Black Orc banner sometimes. But that's certainly on my list. At some point I really need to add a battle standard for orcs. Moving on to my Black Orcs. These are 35 Black Orcs. They used to be painted years ago. They used to be painted in a black armor, just like Grimgor over here. But I thought it could do a lot better, and so I switched to the red. These are also painted like an example in the 8th edition book. I think they are called the Crimson Reapers, with the red armor and the white triangles, also with the white banner and the red skull. It's just from the 8th edition book. I thought that would be better than inventing something myself. So there you go. Really like him, use him a lot. Together with the Savage Orcs, I think in an army I use those most of the time. At least in all my armies there's either the Black Orcs or the Savage Orcs. Sometimes they are not around, but most of the times they are the staples of my army. The Savage Orcs, these are actually the unit that I painted most recently. They have never hit the table, at least the models. I used to use the Orcs as a stand-in, as a proxy for the Savage Orcs. But yeah, I really needed a unit of Savage Orcs. Still have to do the body paint. Not sure how I will do it or what it will look like. For now they don't have it. I still need to add some body paint. Also again a unit filler in here. The unit filler is also not finished. I need to add some rope, because now the skull is just floating in the air in front of a tree. And then the tree itself is also not really finished, and I need to add some skulls on the base or anything like that to make it more flavorable. Voila, these are my Savage Orcs. I think also the basing got quite an upgrade from what I used to do, because there are several different kind of tufts on there. You see some yellow grass, some green grass, and also some minor plants on their bases. So there you go, these are my Savage Orcs. So now we had all the Orc infantry. Moving on maybe to the Spider Riders. They came with Battle of Skull Pass, but I took a really long time before they got painted. I think years and years before I started painting them. But now they have been done for a couple of years as well. Also not the best paint job. I think the skins on the spiders, on the Spider Riders, are a bit pale. Not a lot of shading. It could be a lot better, but I have a lot of other priorities before I ever start on that. I also have some plastic unpainted Spider Riders laying around, so I think I will start on those before I redo anything on those guys. I made a custom character myself as well, just using some bits from all around. Not sure where everything came from. The branches are from the Dryad kit from the Wood Elves. And then yeah, the other elements I'm not sure, to be honest. This is just the captain from the Spider Riders as normal. I sometimes also use him as a lone character in armies to chase some Warmachines or just be an annoyance for the other army. And this is my other Spider Rider character. Let's get him out for a second. Yeah, built him in the same go. Again, I'm not sure where this came from. This is a Black Orc shield. This is an Orc spear, but then the wooden frame, I'm not sure where that came from. And the Goblin itself, he's from the Arachnarok kit, I think. Let's put him back. Voila, so these are the Spider Riders. I also have 15 Orc Boar Riders. Very hard to rank up, but I succeeded because I glued them together in ranks already, and I put some numbers on the back of their bases. Actually, it's not numbers, it's more like a coding. So this means it's the first rank on the 5th place. So he's a first rank in the 5th place, and that way I can actually rank them up. Otherwise I would not be able to do that. Even the way that they are glued together is very exotic, let's say. Yeah. For example, this one is high up in the air, because otherwise he would never fit after this guy. So yeah, an extreme example of gluing your units together rather than single models. Actually, that's the case for my Black Orcs as well, and also for the Savage Orcs. These are typically models that are very hard to rank up, so each of them has a number on the back of their base. So this is number 1, as you can see. There you go. Voila, these are my Boar Riders. There's also a character in here. This is an Orc Shaman on a boar. And then here we have 2 trolls. This is the oldest troll that I have on the right. This is the common troll from the Battle of Skullpass that I painted years and years ago, back in 2006, or maybe it was already 2007 when I got around to painting him, but a very old paint job. The other one on the left is a bit younger than that, also a little bit better painted, but still, yeah, it's okay. I think my army is painted more or less just tabletop quality, and I'm happy with that. I don't need to increase my painting level a lot to be happy with how they look on the tabletop. Also taking into account the effort that you need to do to increase my level starting from here. So voilà, these are 2 common trolls, and then we have 6 river trolls. I painted them up also very recently. I think just before I finished my Savage Orcs, I finished these river trolls. You see already the basing has been upgraded with some plants, rocks. The paint itself is also smoother than some other units that I have in my army. 6 trolls. And then I also have 9 stone trolls. These I painted them up, I think it was 2016, the same year as I painted the Boar Riders, because they were the staple units that I really missed in my army. These were apart from the one troll, the one common troll, the only trolls I had at the moment. I still bought the old metal models, and I'm very happy that I have those because I think they're very characterful. I still like the plastic models, the new ones as well, but I'm very happy I have those. You see, I converted them to be holding some ogre weapons instead of their own troll weapons, to have variations, because I don't have any, every troll is unique, they all have unique weapons. And for some of them I also put some snotlings in front of them. In a pose, so the troll is throwing a rock and the snotling is also throwing a rock. Thought that was funny. And then this snotling is having a great day, feeling very brave with his mate in the background. I think the snotling is actually from the Skarsnik kit. So these are my blue stone trolls. Yeah, if you see in my army commonly as well, I use a lot of green, obviously, because a green skin army, but for the rest also a lot of red, yellow, and black. So, and blue as well. Blue you see in the spiders, in the trolls, also in Moloch, and I have a giant troll in the background. He's also blue. So my army is using a lot of bright colors, and somehow I think it still fits together well, using all these different bright colors. After that we have the Wolf Riders. I only have 10 So sometimes in battles I use them as redirectors or artillery hunters or things like that. Also an old Goblin character on the wolf, very fast, so he's very handy to chase down artillery pieces as well, if he's lucky surviving the first round of firing, of course. So these are my Wolf Riders. I really intend to increase the number of Wolf Riders that I have. I for sure want to have some Wolf Riders with bows in the future, but that's a low priority. There are other things that I need to add before I start on the Wolf Riders at least. I also have some chariots. Two Wolf Chariots and one Boar Chariot. The Wolf Chariot on the left, he's very old as well. Painted him up years ago. He's still around, and then the middle one is painted by my brother as well. So he painted him up. It's a really good job there. And the Boar Chariot on the right, this is an Orc Chariot that I painted up using fully and only contrast paints. The only exception, of course, is the metals, because there is no contrast paint for metals. And I think overall this Boar Chariot turned out really great for the effort that I put into it. I think if I would use normal paint, I could do a better job, but given how much effort I put into it, or at least didn't put into it, he turned out really great. What else do we have? We have the Fanatics, of course. I have 9 Fanatics for all the Night Goblins that I have. I rarely make an army where I actually use 9 Fanatics. That's way too much, not strategic to do at all. It would be a very lore-driven list or a thematic list if someone would do that. But for really big battles that I can use my entire army, I can use 9 Fanatics as well. So there you go. 2 Giants. Very bright as well. Then some conversions. These are artillery pieces that are converted. You can see all the parts of an Iron Blaster. And there I used the Rhinox to put an Orc on it for the unit filler of the Orc unit. All the other pieces are in here. So you can see the cannon and converted as a Squig cannon. That's really nice as well. And then there's the Orc Catapult, where I used the scrap launcher from also the Iron Blaster kit. So there's the scrap launcher catapult from the Ogre Kingdoms as well. I have 2 Spear Chukkas, an old one and a new one. I have a third laying around, but also that's not a priority really to paint. And then there is the fine cast model of the what's that called? The Mangler Squigs. I think I really need a second one. If you make an army using Mangler Squigs, it's good to have the redundancy of having a second one. If you can lose one and still have one around, that's a good idea. But for now, I just have one. I really also like the new plastic Mangler Squig models from GW, so I really, in the future, I'm going to paint one of those. But for now, I just have one. Then there is the Arachnarok Spider here. Also not the best paint job, but it's a huge model, and it's tough to paint such a huge model, at least for me. I think I could do a better job right now for sure on the base. I think the base is a bit of a waste because there's so much space and I didn't really do anything with it. So upgrading that one will be for sure taking care of a new base, putting some rocks, putting some plants, maybe some conversion work. I'm not sure yet, but I need to do something with the base. Also, I just have one Arachnarok. I think some lists use tactical yeah, the technical idea of having more than one Arachnarok. So I also want to have the Arachnarok with the scrap launcher on top. Or not the scrap launcher, but the web launcher, I mean. Because this is the one with the spider shrine. So there you go. Here we have a character on a spider. This is also painted by my brother. The key takeaway of my army is that all the best painted models are not painted by me. So this is this is a goblin on the spider, the blue spider. And then here you have yeah, also a conversion work that I did for a catapult using the spider theme. So there's some blue spiders all around. Then I painted up this model as well. This is the giant. I'm not sure what the Age of Sigmar name for him is, but I actually use him as a giant in the 9th Age. I know in Warhammer army projects there's a different profile for him, so that would be really nice if we can have that in 9th Age as well. And then last but not least, of course, there is Azagh the Slaughterer on his Wyvern. Very happy with that as well, but I need to change the base on him as well because the base is not the correct size to use him in 9th Age. Alright, so it's been a half an hour. This is my Orcs and Goblins army. I fully intend to keep adding to it. Next up will be, I think, some more Savage Orcs. I also have some Gore Gruntas laying around that I think I can use as more Boar Chariots. And for the rest, I'm not sure. What do you guys think I should add? Feel free to let me know. And voila, this is my Orcs and Goblins Army 2022. Bye bye.